morning, I'm Paolo del Rosario. Welcome to Weather HQ on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Today's headlines. Pag-asa Weather Bureau says Julian further weakens into a tropical depression and is now located north-northwest of Itbayat, Batanes. More updates on our local weather. Typhoon Krathon leaves at least 2 people dead following its landfall in Kaohsiung. The details later on in global weather. And learn about sustainable tourism in the Philippines on part 2 of my interview with environmental planner Chen Reyes-Mencias. Look at the local weather here today. According to Pag-asa, 2 weather systems are affecting the country. At 3 a.m. today, the center of Tropical Depression Julian was estimated 240 kilometers north-northwest of Itbayat, Batanes. As you can see here, Julian already at the northern part of the country in the Philippine Air Responsibility. Now, it has maximum sustained winds of 45 kilometers per hour near the center and gustiness of up to 75 kilometers per hour. Now, compared to its movements from the past few days, it is now seen as almost stationary. But its stationary position could lead to localized impacts, such as heavy rainfall or flooding, particularly in areas to the north and northwest of Itbayat, Batanes. If it remains in the same area, it could also intensify or weaken, depending on the surrounding environmental conditions. Now, monitoring updates from local weather authorities will be essential, so stay informed about any changes in its status or trajectory. Now, partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms are expected to prevail over the Ilocos region and the Cordillera Administrative Region here in Cagayan Valley, as well as Central Luzon. Meanwhile, the Intertropical Convergence Zone, or ITCZ, is back and it's affecting Visayas and Mindanao. Now, residents of the Bicol region, Visayas, and the Zamboanga Peninsula will experience cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms. Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms are expected over here in Metro Manila and the rest of the country. Let's take a look at the sea conditions. No gale warning has been issued so far, but the northern and western sections of northern and central Luzon will experience moderate to rough sea conditions. Mariners are advised to be cautious at all times. For the rest of Luzon and Visayas and Mindanao, seafarers will experience light to moderate sea conditions. Now let's take a look at the weather conditions in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao as we go all over the country. Now, stormy days are over in the entirety of Luzon. Generally fair weather conditions expected throughout the entire region. Lowest temperature, as always, as typical, is in Baguio. Take a look at that, 18 degrees Celsius. That is cool, chilly weather, while the rest of the areas, the temperature are expected to go from 25 to 32 degrees Celsius all over the country. Of course, Metro Manila in particular, being a bit hot with 33 degrees. Let's go down to the Visayas because of the ITCZ. The whole region, particularly Bacolod, Iloilo, Metro Cebu, and Tacloban, will experience cloudy skies with rain showers and thunderstorms. Let's take a look at that here again. As similar weather all throughout, with 32 degrees being in Iloilo and Bacolod the hottest for this particular region. Now make sure wherever you go, always bring a rain gear just in case. Let's go down to Mindanao. Again, Zamboanga, except will have cloudy skies and rain showers as well as thunderstorms due to the ITCZ. Again, one of the 2 active weather systems in the country. While in Metro Davao, again, the Oro weather conditions are still expected to be favorable. As you can see here, now we're not showing it here, but then the high is expected to go up to 34 degrees Celsius in the region. So make sure that you do adjust to all of that. Now, it is advisable to stay updated on local weather forecasts and be prepared for potential changes in weather conditions. Let's take a look at the 3-day forecast because it is a happy Friday. We'll find out what the weekend will bring. Starting off with Metro Manila. 33 degrees Celsius the high on Saturday and on Monday. Generally fair weather conditions in the metro. So go out and do enjoy the season for now. Temperatures for the next 3 days are going to be a bit high. Low chance of rains, but always bring your water bottle wherever you go and make sure that you adapt to the temperatures that you feel out there. 33 degrees Celsius. Ooh, that is a bit warm. Now, going down south to the Queen City, same weather conditions are expected all until, of course, Monday next week. As we take a look at the hot weather conditions, wherever you go, bring handkerchiefs, maybe extra clothes. It could help because, as you can see here, 32 degrees all throughout until Monday. Generally fair weather, but that means it might get a bit warm. Overall in Metro Davao, we must prepare for a bit of rainy weather. Good news though, because come Sunday and Monday, things are expected to change. Now, you can see here, Sunday, Monday, don't be fooled by the similar logos, because on Saturday, what's going to happen is that there's a higher chance of rain here, according to our 3-day weather forecast. So on Sunday and on Monday, though, things getting a bit better. 33 degrees Celsius, similar weather temperatures all throughout. Now, when we return, coming up, part 2 of my interview with environmental planner Chen Reyes-Mencias, we discuss ecotourism, natural capital accounting, and how local governments can drive sustainable tourism in the country. Don't go away.
What is your biggest mistake?
My greatest beefsteak.
I wanted to do that before I aura.
Aura.
Yeah.
We shine a light on the trailblazers, the disruptors, the titans of industry.
I'm going to eat healthy. It's expensive. But guess what's more expensive? The hospital.
We're not just talking about success stories here. We're diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them.
Let's go. We are live. We are
Industry Beat on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
This is Pinky Webb, and it's a great opportunity. Ang inyong lingkod si Corina Sanchez Rojas.
Corina Sanchez.
As they uphold their mission is to be proud
Dalawang
of what we
mamamahayag
do in
na
our
subok
lives.
sa
Ito ako
tapang
ay
at
had
talino.
the chance to talk with all of you. Maraming salamat.
Pagsasamahin ng isa. Agenda. Mondays to Fridays, 6 p.m. only on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. I'm Paolo del Rosario. In part 2 of my interview with environmental planner Chen Reyes-Mencias, we explore sustainable tourism in the Philippines, how other destinations can adopt to it, and of course, how local governments can support ecotourism. I asked her what exactly is ecotourism and how it's different from regular tourism. Let's watch this.
Ecotourism is now a strategy to promote conservation, especially in outstanding natural locations, including protected areas, where we have forests, timberland, mangrove areas, coral reef, all these endowments that are very fragile from human impacts. So ecotourism relies on the integrity of the natural environment to be able to thrive. And you need to have a community that will run those enterprises and benefit out of the arrival of tourists. Mm-hmm. And you need to have environmental education as well. You need to have that mechanism by which any visitor that comes in will leave learning something new and having the appreciation of whatever the community is doing, protecting the natural endowment for everyone.
Is there a plan or a strategy that can be inputted to different provinces, or is it specific to each and every location that you have, that it has to be tailor-made, it cannot just be copy-pasted from one end to the other?
Plans need to be site-specific, but there's like an underlying principle behind all of these plans. First, you need to have a balanced development, meaning that you don't only focus on the economic development of the place, but also take into consideration the environment. In fact, a lot of people are confused about sustainable development. They say it's too highfalutin, especially to local communities who don't really understand what is sustainable development. But if you translate it into our language, you know what it is? It's likas kayang pag-unlad. You don't have to explain. We will develop, mag-uunlad tayo ng base sa kalikasan. So if nature is already telling you that you've exceeded the limit, then you have to intervene and you have to, step back.
Yeah.
And don't keep pushing it up to the point that it will not function anymore.
Let us focus on a highfalutin word that you mentioned, to use your term, because I love that term. Let's make it less falutin, which is natural capital accounting.
Okay.
That is a term I have not heard of a lot. Could you explain what that means in regards especially to ecotourism and sustainable ecotourism?
Nature is so complicated. And so most people only attach economic value to it. Like, how much is this tree in terms of board feet? How much fish can I catch, on a daily basis? But we don't look at the intangibles or the invisible part of nature, the services that they provide. For example, filtering water, flood control, providing fresh air, habitat for birds and other animals, We don't put value in those things. Even research, for example, and education has value.
Yeah.
Nature can teach us a lot of things. So natural accounting will provide us that lens. And this law that just passed actually is a global milestone because it's going to be very good for us because now we have a way to look at nature from a different perspective, putting value in things that normally we take for granted.
Yeah.
So it will give us, not just me as a planner, but also communities leverage towards telling their mayors, telling their decision makers that we need to have policies because we no longer have fresh water.
Now, for those wondering, that bill's the PENCAS bill, the Philippine Ecosystem and Natural Capital Accounting System. How important is bridging that gap in the efforts to create sustainable tourism?
Sometimes, as they say, if there's no awareness, you need a law to create that awareness. So with this law, there will now be more appreciation of nature and all the goods and services that it's providing us on a daily basis. But at the same time, take people accountable for the destruction that they have been contributing to the environment, because there are like human activities, industries, economic activities that are so destructive to the environment that it's as if we don't have the next generation to use that environment or to use nature. LGUs are very powerful because they're mandated to take care of the environment and they are mandated to take care of the people. But the challenge is really it's a balancing act. Sometimes if you take care of people too much at the expense of the environment, then you have a problem for the next generation. But if you're taking care only of nature and not people, sometimes people will go hungry and they have no recourse but to destroy nature.
Looking ahead, because this obviously is just the beginning in so many ways for ecotourism, what's the next big step para sa'yo?
To me, as somebody who has been involved with communities for so many years, I think we need more involvement from the marginalized sector, from fisher folks, from farmers, from those living in rural island communities who are in the midst of all this God-given gift, but who don't have the capability, to come up with products for visitors who are coming in troves. I think we need to capacitate them. We need to teach them how do you do it. So it's not only the tour operators and travel agencies who do benefit out of those knowledge. We need to transfer that capability to them. So I always believe in community-based tourism, which is also synonymous to ecotourism.
Is there a way that our viewers could reach out to you, possibly, or Blue Water Consultancy, to learn more about ecotourism and, of course, to help promote sustainable ecotourism?
Well, yeah, I enjoin everyone to be part of the effort to protect our natural heritage. We cannot only think about this generation. Think about your children. Think about, what will they enjoy? Because for so many years, I was a diving instructor. I was enjoying the marine environment. And so looking forward, I would want my children and my grandchildren to enjoy the same kind of environment that gave me so much joy and career. And so it is our obligation to be stewards of these endowments and gifts that are now at the receiving end of impacts that are caused by not knowing the value of nature. So you need to educate yourselves and create an attitude that will be more caring when you travel instead of just posting. You know, there's this trend nowadays of people posting, you know, reels and videos of themselves in these wonderful places, but these places are not ready to receive tourists. We have to start thinking about that and be more responsible about our posts. You can post probably, but don't mention where it is, because you know people go to these places and the places are not ready, and the LGU is not prepared for the impacts. Or you go to the next one, you start destroying places, you know, as you move on from place to place. So I think we need to have more awareness and be more responsible when we travel. And
you know, I hope that this interview will help disseminate all that information necessary. And of course, thank you very much for all your great work, Ms. Jen Menchas, joining us here today on Weather HQ. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Makabayan Party List Group has filed its certificate of candidacy for next year's election. House Deputy Speaker in Las Piñas, Representative Camille Villar, is also expected to file her COC for the senatorial race today. Now let's hear it from Hannah T, live from Manila Hotel. Hannah, what's the latest?
Paolo, it's day 4 of the filing of certificates of candidacy here at the Manila Hotel, and the Makabayan Coalition is in full force today, arriving early to file their COCs for the 2025 senatorial race. This slate is composed of progressive leaders, and this includes Representatives Franz Castro of Alliance of Concerned Teachers Party List, as well as Arlene Brosas of Gabriela Women's Party. And as they say, their slate is well represented. Their senatorial bets come from several sectors in the country. That includes Teddy Casino, former Bayan Muna representative, a staunch advocate for labor rights. Also, Danilo Ramos is in the slate. He is Kilusang Magbubukid ng Pilipinas chairperson, Modi Floranda, Piston president, who campaigns for improving the public transport system, and also Jerome Adonis of Kilusang Mayo Uno, Jocelyn Andamo, a healthcare worker, and Mimi Doringo of Kadamay, Ronel Arambulo of Pamalakaya vice chairperson, and Amira Lidasan, a Moro activist. So you can see they're very well prepared. They came in with matching outfits, and right now they're answering questions from the media after filing their COC. Earlier today, we saw several supporters of Representative Camille Villar as they wait for her to file her COC for the 2025 senatorial race. Those are the latest here in Manila Hotel. Paolo.
Thank you very much. I was Hannah T, reporting live from Manila. Now when we return, global weather is up next. Keep it here on BNC.
Thought from American businessman and Starbucks CEO Howard Schultz. Success in business is 90% perseverance and 10% ingenuity.
You are watching BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.
Now, the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas expects improvements in the country's external payments, leading to a higher surplus. Philippine shares enter bull market territory after surging past the 7,400 level.
Get the latest on the economy and the financial markets, down to each basis point.
Everything is looking good for us. What are your thoughts on this? Given that the tides are changing, how have you revised your target?
Basis Points with Mikey Oreta. Weekdays, 9:30 a.m. on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weather HQ. Let's take a look at the global weather. At least 2 people are killed in the eastern part of Taiwan following Typhoon Krathon's landfall yesterday in the port city of Kaohsiung. Although Krathon has weakened as it made landfall, it still toppled trees and streetlights, sending debris flying. Knee-high waters also swept through several districts in Kaohsiung. The typhoon slammed into southwestern Taiwan, bringing heavy rains and flooding and cutting power in about 178,000 homes. Security footage filmed on Thursday showed the moment as store equipment was blown away when the typhoon slammed into southwestern Taiwan. Now, based on the latest track of Pag-asa, Tropical Depression Krathon is forecasted to weaken into a remnant low today over the landmass of Taiwan, or the southwest, or rather the sea southwest of Taiwan. The U.S. National Hurricane Center, now moving on to North America, or NHC, says a more heavy rain is set to batter Mexico's southern coast as Tropical Depression 11E strengthens. The tropical depression was located about 150 kilometers southeast of Puerto Angel, Oaxaca, and it is now moving northeast at around 4 kilometers per hour. It has maximum sustained winds of up to 55 kilometers an hour. So we can see the track here of 11E of here coming into Mexico. It is forecast to make landfall this Friday in southern Mexico as a tropical storm. NHC warns that the storm may dump moderate to at times heavy rains across parts of Chiapas, Oaxaca, Veracruz, Tabasco, and coastal Guerrero. Now, today is World Smile Day, the perfect way to spread positive vibes. And of course, sometimes it may take, that's all it takes to share this simple gesture to make the day better for others and for yourselves as well. Little acts of kindness can bring sunshine and smiles to someone who is having a gloomy day. There are a lot of events that go on around the globe on the World Smile Day, but if you do not have any plans yet, why not visit our own city of smiles, Bacolod, and you'll have a smile on your face after eating chicken inasal, Manukan country. Where are you at? With the good weather there, I'm sure you'll share great moments with others. And that's Weather HQ today. Join us once again next week, whatever the weather, here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. I'm Paolo del Rosario. Have a happy weekend.